Peter, we tampered with the stability of space-time to resurrect countless lives. You want to do it again just because yours got messy?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Roll Screen Time. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with my fellow Spider-Man, Christopher Johnson.
Hello everyone.
And we're ending the Year of the Spider and starting the Year of the Multiverse with Spider-Man No Way Home.
The afterglow after watching this film was so fantastic. I felt like I need a cigarette even though I don't smoke. But before we go into that, there's also a little bit of an elephant in the room that we have to discuss. The fact that this film almost didn't even get made. Because, if you all remember, back when Sony and Marvel Studios decided to make this deal of, working together to make Spider-Man films, initially the contract was only for 5 films. 2 Spider-Man films and 3 major MCU films. Which were Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. So once that was done, they didn't have a contract, and initially they couldn't come to terms with making a new one. Causing the whole world for 3-4 weeks to utterly lose their collective minds. I should know. I was watching it in real time and I was losing my mind. Were you losing your mind? Yeah. It got to the point that they had to get Tom Holland himself to sit down the major people in Sony and the major people within Disney and Marvel Studios to and essentially beg and plead to them to come up with a deal. And fortunately, they did. And on top of that, they also found out what Warner Brothers was going to do with the DC films. So they were like, oh, DC's trying to do something with the multiverse? Why don't we beat them to it and do it better? So, that's how we all got here. And now let me get into the overview.
All right.
Spider-Man No Way Home is a 2021 superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character Spider-Man, co-produced by Columbia Pictures and Marvel Studios and distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. It is the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home and is the 27th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film was directed by John Watts and written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. The film stars Tom Holland as Peter Parker / Spider-Man alongside Zendaya, Benedict Cumberbatch, Jacob Batalon, Jon Favreau, Jamie Foxx, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Rhys Ifran, Thomas Hayden Church, Tony Revolori, Marissa Tomei. Should I go ahead and say it?
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield. And Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
And the synopsis.
Okay. With Spider-Man's identity now revealed, our friendly neighborhood web-slinger is unmasked and no longer able to separate his normal life as Peter Parker from the high stakes of being a superhero. Peter asks Doctor Strange to use magic to make his Spider-Man identity a secret again, but when the spell goes wrong, the multiverse is broken open, which allows visitors from alternate realities to enter Peter's universe.
Yep, this was an awesome movie.
Awesome is an understatement. This was fantastic.
Yep.
This was a love letter to Spider-Man.
Yep.
It makes me wonder which was the greater love letter, this or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which we will talk about later this year.
Yeah, I feel like this was, since they show characters from previous movies.
Well, very true, very true.
Well, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is mainly their own versions of, for the most part.
Well, not necessarily, because all those versions of Spider-Man exist in the comics.
Yeah.
But I digress on that. We'll talk about that later. Let's get into the cast.
Yeah.
My God, Tom Holland was fantastic in this film.
Yep, he got a ring around.
Oh, no. It wasn't just that. He was put through the ringer.
Yeah.
We saw this man go through every sort of emotion you can potentially go through.
Yeah.
And, oh God, when things were at their lowest, you genuinely felt the heartbreak. I felt like I was standing on that rooftop with him with the rain coming down.
Yeah. Yep.
But he was fantastic. And we really got to see him finally grow into the Spider-Man that he needs to become.
Yep.
You know, he no longer has, the Avengers and everyone else to hold his hand through everything. He has to do things on his own.
Yep.
But before that, he does get some help.
Yep. First from Doctor Strange.
Of course, having his, core, I guess, friend and family unit in Aunt May, MJ, and Ned really trying to help him through this insane dilemma.
Yeah.
Plus, he also gets a nice little assist from Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
But it was too much for him.
Yeah.
It really was. Mm-hmm. No matter what he tried, things still got bad.
Yeah, he didn't want to send the villains back because they were going to die in alternate reality, in their reality when they get back.
Yeah. Plus, on top of the fact that maybe some villains didn't want to go back.
Yeah.
Or some villains were too scattered to think about the idea of them getting fixed.
Yeah.
But we'll dive more into that a bit later.
Yeah.
Now, we touched upon them. Mm-hmm. My God, did MJ become a better character?
Yes.
Zendaya was fantastic in this film.
Yep.
She truly became the Spider-Man girlfriend I always wanted to see her become.
Yeah.
And I think she was the most... Was she even more involved than what Gwen was in Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was truly a ride or die for Peter.
Yeah.
And was willing to help him in helping out these villains. And at the same time, try to help him as all this insanity of his identity being revealed.
Yep.
I mean, she truly helped.
Yep, and then she loses all that. Spoiler.
Yeah, we'll touch upon that a bit more.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, the Blu-ray will already be out, so people will already know.
And plus, it wasn't just MJ who did that. Ned.
Yep.
And plus, apparently, Ned may have the ability to utilize the mystic arts.
Yep.
He may have the ability to utilize magic.
Yeah.
My God.
Wonder if they'll play into those future Spider-Man sequels, even though he doesn't remember.
And I'm still wondering if he'll become Hobgoblin.
Yeah. I do like their joke. That when he finds out about weapons to the other Peters.
Peter, I just want to let you know, I will never become a villain and try to kill you.
Possibly foreshadowing.
Yeah, because, due to Doctor Strange's, spell, no one remembers who Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, Jacob Batalon was fantastic.
Yeah.
He lost 100 pounds, so he was definitely looking in better shape. Which almost made me think he would become Hobgoblin, but we don't get that now. Jon Favreau was great as Happy Hogan again.
Yep. He was crying during the breakup since this movie takes place. Unlike the previous Spider-Man movie, this one takes place right after the other one left off. Right at the same moment it left off.
Yeah. Right when J. Jonah Jameson reveals Peter Parker is Spider-Man, that's where the film exactly picks up.
Yeah.
So, oof. And I feel so bad for Happy.
Yep, he gets broken up with.
He was truly in love with Aunt May.
Yep.
And can you blame him?
No. And then he loses more.
Oof.
And does an honorable sacrifice so Peter can get away.
Yeah. And then, of course, Marissa Tomei as May Parker.
Oh. She's
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
She got to do so much more.
Yeah.
And she definitely was the person that confided the most. Well, that Peter confided into the most.
She gave him the idea to go save the villains by getting rid of their powers or their mental illness.
Showing them mercy.
Yep.
And trying to help them.
Yep.
Because ever since the blip happened, that's what Aunt May has been doing.
Yeah.
From this point forward with working with, was it called Feast?
I think so.
Yeah, where she was essentially trying to help people that were affected by the blip and other issues.
Yep. Of course, should we give away that spoiler?
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Because, dear God, I can't really say that there was just one MVP. This was truly a great ensemble piece. Everyone played their part perfectly. Mm-hmm. Everyone actually had something important to do. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but of course there definitely were some highlights. Seeing as though since we talked about Spider-Man and his core unit, why don't we start going into all the other individuals that he runs into and has to help him along the way, starting with Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
We definitely got to see a lot more personality at a Doctor Strange that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, a lot of comedic take. He was in this herd that did it for 12 hours.
I was stuck in the Grand Canyon for 12 hours.
He was also kind of bummed that he didn't get Supreme because he got flipped out for 5 years.
Yeah, and Wong is now Sorcerer Supreme.
Yep.
And also someone didn't think about closing one of their portals a bit quicker, so therefore the entire sanctum is covered in snow and ice.
Yep.
I feel bad for those interns. They're still shoveling.
Yep.
Still shoveling.
Yep, he's the one who does the spell that creates the with mentally from Peter that causes the chaos of the
Yeah.
movie even more.
Yeah, which he was trying to tell Peter, stop messing with the spell. Stop it. You're making this thing much more unstable. I'm trying my best to make sure this thing doesn't blow up in everybody's face. Oh, it blew up in everyone's face.
Mm-hmm.
All because of the fact that you wanted to have your cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
You have two choices here, Peter. Either be Peter Parker or be Spider-Man. You can't have it both ways. Mm-hmm. And of course, because Peter wanted to have it both ways,
Yeah.
all these villains decide to show up.
Yep.
Such as Alfred Molina as Dr. Otto Octavius, otherwise known as Dr. Octopus. Alfred Molina was fantastic.
He was really good. He even gets sympathetic by the time in the second act in this one, and ends up being an ally.
Yeah,
Spoiler
because
alert, yeah.
he's one of the first people Peter actively helps, and it's a success.
Yeah.
Because for real, Dr. Octopus was in full, I'm gonna murder Spider-Man, and I'm also gonna have the power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Yep,
From Spider-Man 2.
Yep. Yep, he got taken out and somehow found the shirt between that.
Which I think was a better look and idea, because I mean, did you really want Alfred Molina to be all chest open
And then,
throughout most of this film?
Yep.
But he was fantastic. It felt like he was just slipping on the glove. You know, that's how getting back into the mode it was.
Yeah, but then he talked about Norman Osborn being a ghost as soon as we see him again.
Oh, yes. The other heavy hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn, a.k.a. the Green Goblin.
I liked both versions of his suit.
Yes, even though I think what he ends up having in the final conflict is better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, my God, Willem Dafoe was in his top tier A1 acting in this. You felt the true dread, sadness, and everything of him as Norman. And then just seeing the deranged, anarchic chaos that the Green Goblin is.
Yep.
And him battling that was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, they let him break the freaking helmet and he doesn't have to wear it for the rest of the film.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get to see one of the most expressive actors ever emote and show all of that expression, whether he's Norman Osborn or the Green Goblin. And when he's the Green Goblin, oh good Lord.
Yep.
All the manic laughing.
Yep, and he's responsible for someone's death.
Yes. Dear God, why did it have to be Aunt May?
Yep.
Why did it have to be Aunt May?
Yep, and she took the longest to die. After that,
I think it was adrenaline, and then oh no, yep, I'm feeling it. Oh, there goes the legs.
Yep, and then she does a great responsibility speech.
Yeah, which apparently, if you ever give that speech in any Spider-Man anything, you're probably gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
And that also brings Peter for cold vengeance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was gonna murder the you-know-what out of the Green Goblin. He was like, oh, there's his glider. Let me get that. This is for Aunt May, you son of a...
We'll get to the rest of that as soon as we talk about the other people.
Yeah. When talking about great performances, and also talking about the opportunity to do it better, Jamie Foxx as Electro.
He's no longer Edward Nygma.
Yes. They finally fixed Electro. Max Dillon is no longer Edward Nygma. And I think part of it has to do with the fact of how he comes into Peter's universe. He's complete energy at this point. You know, just like how we saw when he got destroyed in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's pure energy. He doesn't have a body in the sense that he had back in Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, in kind of my weird opinion, I think that's what Max was supposed to look like, you know, after he became Electro, but with the electricity kind of turned off. Which gives him a much better upgrade. Because now Jamie Foxx looks like Jamie Foxx. He gets to be the suave, funny, debonair individual that we all know that he is. And on top of it, he gets a new suit that is which is very cool and also very reminiscent of Electro's original outfit. But it's not spandex. And plus, on top of it, his powers react differently in this film compared to Amazing Spider-Man 2. So when he's utilizing his power, he gets that electricity star on his face from the iconic mask.
And he's also much more power hungry.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, he could live his best life. You know, he's not the nobody loser that he was in Andrew Garfield's universe. I mean, he's looking much better. He's got greater power. He doesn't want to let go of that, which is definitely a nice thing involving all the different villains and their kind of motivations within this film. You know, all of them being displaced because of the multiverse have their own kind of thing they want to do. I mean, Dr. Octopus is still in loopy mode because he's hearing the voices of the tentacles. And this whole idea of being in a whole nother universe is just throwing him for a loop, so he doesn't know what to think. Norman just wants to go home because, you know, Oscorp exists there. You know, he still has people that care about him in Tobey Maguire's universe. He wants to go home. But Electro, on the other hand, he doesn't. He wants to stay here. He's living his best life.
Talk about the other two who didn't really appear as themselves.
They were there, but not completely there. Yes. Rhys Ifran as Dr. Kirk Connors, a.k.a. the Lizard. And Thomas Hayden Church as Flint Marko, a.k.a. Sandman.
Flint does sort of have a hero moment at the beginning. Saving Tom Holland Spider-Man from Electro.
Yeah, I mean, it still rings in the fact that he's not a bad guy. He's just had bad luck. You know, and he remembers that Spider-Man is a good guy.
Although he does take it the wrong way when Tom Holland decides to put him in the cage. He's like, no.
Wait, a cage?
Yeah.
I think he had a bit of prison flashbacks when he said that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can understand Flint feeling some type of way about that.
Yep, and then he also had Electro get into his head. That also made him go full villain.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Of course.
Though they do have a nice little kinship moment because they both fell into experiments that changed them.
Yeah.
was it for the better or was it for the worse?
Yeah. And then, of course, the lizards, Dr. Connors is mainly the lizard. When turn people to lizards. People.
Yeah, he's still on that.
Yeah.
He's still on that. He just wants to turn everybody into lizards, and because he feels as though he's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, he even tells that to Electro.
Yeah.
I could make you perfect too.
Yeah. Yep.
Though the unfortunate thing about it is we don't really get to see Rhys Ifron and Thomas Hayden Church like in the flesh.
Except for the end.
Well, even that was stock footage.
Yeah.
That was archival footage from the old films.
Yep.
So I heard that it was mostly because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So they decided, the two characters that would involve the most CGI, why don't we just make them fully CGI, but bring them in to lend their voice and maybe some motion capture for it. Mm-hmm. You know, I would have enjoyed to have seen Thomas Hayden Church, you know, as he looked in Spider-Man 3, walking around, interacting with everyone else, but... Yeah. We got him as full, literal sand man. Mm-hmm. So.
And should we talk about the other characters from the multiverse?
We'll get to them. We'll get to them because that deserves a whole talk. Mm-hmm. But first, why don't we talk about some of the other individuals around, you know, around Peter's universe that are definitely being affected by this. Eugene Flash Thompson. I swear. I know that definitely had to blow his mind that, oh yeah, the kid that you've been calling Penis Parker for like the past, 3 years?
Maybe more.
Well, yeah, blip. Okay, for like the past 8 years. Turns out to be the superhero that you admire the most.
And pretends to be friends with.
Yeah. And plus, I love you, Marvel, with giving that dig to Warner Brothers with naming Flash's book Flashpoint. You magnificent bastards, you. And, of course, we have to talk about J. Jonah Jameson.
Yep, J.K. Simmons as the other version of J. Jonah Jameson.
The only man that can play this character no matter what universe it's in.
Yep.
And we definitely get to see a lot more of him kind of having his humble upbringings up to being, you know, this bigger, greater, like, media person. Yep. You know, at first we just see him, he has a green screen in his home. Yeah. And then he ends up getting a major studio. Yeah. And he's definitely treating it a lot more like how an Alex Jones or like a Joe Rogan would be running their show. I mean, to the point that the man is even shelling out, you know, freaking vitamins and other weird stuff and telling people to like, comment, and subscribe. Which, remember, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep. He announces he follows Peter to the big thing that killed Aunt May.
Yeah, the big conflict where initially Peter is helping out the villains. He helps Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octopus is of sound mind again. And he's working on helping everybody else. But Norman switches back into Goblin mode. Jamie is Max is in like, I don't want to give up this power mode. And the Lizard is like, oh, I know this is all going to blow up in everyone's face. I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. Mm-hmm. So everything falls apart. And here comes the Greek choir and J. Jonah Jameson add more fuel to the fire, making Peter feel worse about the whole about this whole endeavor going awry, and making people hate Spider-Man even more.
Yeah.
I swear, who caused more stress for a Spider-Man? This J. Jonah Jameson or Tobey's?
This one.
He truly felt like an additional antagonist.
Yeah.
For real, we all thought that there was going to be a sixth member of the Sinister Six. He was the sixth. Mm-hmm. That's how much of an issue J. Jonah Jameson was causing. That's how much of a thorn in Peter's side he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for the best that he forgot Peter is Spider-Man.